In the ancient village of Umadim, whispers of legends and folklore were woven into the very fabric of daily life. One story, told with a mix of awe and fear, was about an old woman, Uzo Moko, who lived far away in the heart of the forbidden forest. She was once a villager but was banished by the chief priest and the king, who believed she had traded her family for immense wealth through dark sorcery. In the same village, a young girl named Chioma endured a life of hardship. Often at a tender age, she lived with her aunt, a harsh and unkind woman who saw Chioma as nothing more than a servant. Chioma's days were filled with endless chores, fetching water, cooking, washing clothes, all under the threat of beatings if she failed to meet her aunt's impossible standards. One fateful night, after a day filled with relentless labor, Chioma's aunt accused her of neglect and, despite the lateness of the hour, beat her and sent her to fetch water. It was forbidden to visit the stream at night due to the spirits said to haunt it, so Chioma, frightened and desperate, wandered into the bush, unable to return empty-handed. She walked aimlessly through the dark, dense forest until exhaustion claimed her, and she fell asleep under a large iroko tree. When morning came, Chioma woke up disoriented and frightened. She tried to find her way back but soon realized she was hopelessly lost. As she wandered, she stumbled upon an old woman collecting herbs. The woman, noticing Chioma's distress, offered her help and led her to a hidden hut deep in the forest. The old woman was Uzo Moko. Her hut, though modest from the outside, was filled with unimaginable riches, gold, precious stones, and artifacts from distant lands. Chioma marveled at the wealth and wondered how such opulence was possible in the heart of the forest. Uzo Moko, sensing the girl's genuine curiosity and honesty, decided to shelter her. Over time, Uzo Moko shared her story with Chioma. She spoke of her banishment, the false accusations, and her life of solitude. Despite her wealth, Uzo Moko's life was lonely and empty, a stark contrast to Chioma's vibrant spirit despite her suffering. Uzo Moko grew fond of Chioma and saw in her the daughter she never had. One day, Uzo Moko decided to test Chioma's character. She told Chioma that she needed to travel to a distant village to restock the house with foodstuffs and would be gone for 2 days. She left Chioma in charge of her hut and all her treasures. Chioma, though curious, resisted any temptation and spent her time maintaining the hut and exploring the forest. When Uzo Moko returned, she found everything just as she had left it. Chioma's honesty and integrity moved her deeply. She revealed to Chioma that she had been testing her, and Chioma had passed beyond her wildest expectations. Months have passed and Uzo Moko falls sick. And on her sickbed she handed over all her wealth to Chioma. The next morning she died. Chioma cried and cried and cried for days. Back in Umadim, famine have struck Umadim, and the villagers were plunged into starvation. Chioma's aunt and the other villagers struggled desperately. Before Uzo Moko died, she instructed Chioma to use the wealth wisely and ensure that her new life would be better than the one she left behind. With a heavy heart but a hopeful spirit, Chioma left the forest and moved to the outskirts of Umadim. She built a grand home and began to live a life of comfort. The villagers, hearing of a rich newcomer, sought her help but were unaware of her true identity. The king, desperate to save his people, pleaded for assistance. Chioma, moved by the suffering of her people and the memory of her own hardships, offered to help. She demanded a public gathering where she would reveal her conditions for aid. When the day came, she stood before the villagers and removed her veil. "Do you not recognize me?" she asked. "I am Chioma, the girl who you mistreated, who you cast aside. Yet, I stand here today with the power to save you." The villagers were stunned into silence. Chioma then made a declaration, "I will help you, but only if you promise to treat everyone with kindness and fairness, especially the orphans and the poor." The king and the villagers, shamed by their past actions, agreed to Chioma's terms. With her wealth, she provided food and resources, ending the famine and bringing prosperity back to Umadem. Chioma's generosity and wisdom transformed the village, and her legacy as a fair and kind benefactor was etched into the annals of their history. Thus, the tale of Chioma and Uzo Moko became a cherished story, reminding all who heard it of the virtues of kindness, integrity, and the belief that true wealth lies not in gold or gems, but in the goodness of one's heart. She forgave her aunt Adiku for the years of mistreatment and extended a hand of reconciliation. Adiku, humbled by Chioma's generosity and kindness, sought forgiveness and pledged to change her ways. The village followed Chioma's example, seeking forgiveness and reconciliation with those they had wronged. This process of healing brought the community closer together, creating a strong sense of unity and trust. Chioma never forgot the woman who had made her transformation possible. She built a memorial for Uzo Moko, honoring her wisdom, kindness, and generosity. The memorial became a place of reflection and inspiration, reminding the villagers of the importance of kindness and compassion.